everybody, welcome back to another episode of Auntie A's Kitchen. The A stands for Amanda, and I love sharing with people simple and delicious recipes that you can cook here in South Korea using South Korean ingredients. If you're new to the channel, hi there, 안녕하세요. Welcome to everybody wherever you are watching. As the thumbnail suggests today, I'm going to be sharing with you an easy to make homemade pasta. And today's recipe, I'm not going to be using a pasta machine, I'm going to be making everything with my hands. So please make sure to watch this video all the way through, as I'm going to be sharing some tips of what to look for when you are making fresh pasta. I love making my own pasta. Not only is it effortless, but you can cut the pasta into whatever size or shape that you would like, and it takes no time whatsoever to cook on your stovetop. Today's video is part 1, and the next video that I'm going to be posting, I'm going to be showing you a traditional bolognese sauce, and I'm going to be using today's pasta with that meal. So thanks for watching today. I hope you enjoy. Don't forget to give it a thumbs up. Let me show you effortless homemade pasta in South Korea.
Usually I measure out a cup of flour, but today I use a little bit more, and I'll explain why later. Place your flour onto a clean surface, then using your fingers make a well in the middle. Next I prepare the 2 egg yolks. A fast way to separate them is to crack your egg into a bowl and then with your fingers gently fish out the egg yolk. I will also use 1 whole egg in this recipe. You could mix your salt with the flour in the beginning, but I just put everything together and then I mix it all up. The oil is an optional extra. I like to use a drizzle of a good quality oil. Today I'm using avocado oil. By adding the oil, you'll find that it will make the dough softer and therefore easier to knead. You could use a spoon or a fork if you don't want to get your hands dirty straight away, but I like to use my hands so that I can feel the dough and know where it is at. So I added a little bit too much flour in the beginning so that I could show you now that if you have a dry dough, then just add a splash of water or a little bit more of that egg white that we kept from earlier, and this will make your dough a lot softer and therefore easier to work with. As you can see, I still felt that the dough was a little bit too dry, so I add 1 more spoon of the egg white. It's easier to have a dry dough and add a little bit more egg than to have a dough that is too wet. The more you get into making your own pasta, the more confident and familiar you will become with knowing how the dough feels. I knead the dough then for about 8 to 10 minutes until it becomes soft. You will notice I keep a little scraper at the side of me, and every so often I will scrape down the board and make sure I catch up any bits of random dough and put that into the ball so that I don't waste any. After about 8 to 10 minutes of kneading, all of the ingredients will be not only mixed together, but your dough will start to feel soft and slightly sticky. You know when it's ready is if you press your finger into the dough, it will spring back. I then wrap up my dough with some cling film and leave it on the side for about 30 to 45 minutes while I prepare the other food that you will see in the next video. I have given my pasta dough time to rest at room temperature, which has given the gluten time to relax, and thus it will make it easier now to roll out. A quick extra tip here: if you've made egg pasta with just egg yolk, then you will need to leave your dough to rest for a couple of hours rather than just 30 minutes. On a large clean surface, sprinkle some flour and then roll out your dough. For those interested, I brought this large breadboard from IKEA and it's perfect for rolling out dough. If you have a pasta machine like me, feel free to use it, but for today's video I want to show you how easy it can be done without a machine. When rolling out your pasta dough, you want to make sure it is thin. They say if you can read a newspaper through your dough, it's the right thickness. Remember, the pasta will swell as it absorbs the water, so you need to make sure it's not thick to begin with. Depending on the pasta that you are making is the shape that you will roll it into. Today I'm making tagliatelle, so I want to make sure that my dough is long before I cut it up. Once I am happy with the thickness and the length of my dough, I then sprinkle some flour over the pasta dough and roll carefully both of the ends into the middle. Be careful that you have floured well and you don't apply any pressure, as you do not want your dough to stick at this stage. For me, this next stage is my favourite, cutting the pasta. Depending on what you are making dictates the thickness you cut your pasta. A quick tip: make sure whatever you are cutting is the same size, as this will ensure that it cooks at the same time inside of your pan. You will notice I've placed some flour in the top corner of my board. Once I've cut the pasta, I then shake it so that the rolls fall apart and then rub it in the flour to ensure the pasta does not stick together. Typically you want to leave your fresh pasta for about 10 minutes before you cook it. Today I will be using this pasta in a recipe that I will show you in the next video, a traditional bolognese sauce. If you don't want to use your pasta straight away, then it will keep in your refrigerator for up to 2 days, or alternatively you could dry out your pasta for about 12 to 24 hours and then store it at room temperature. So here it is, a simple egg-based homemade pasta. There's nothing better than eating home-cooked food, and when it's this easy, even better. Please take this recipe and have fun making different styles and shapes of pasta. In the next few weeks, I'll be sharing with you my favourite homemade pasta to make. Until then, have a great week and I'll see you in the next video. God bless. Ciao, bocam da.